Well, hi there, everybody. It's me, Dawg Knight, and I'm back, kind of in my same old, mode. I made a couple changes. I might have to make some adjustments though, because I'm not sure this is coming out smoothly. But we'll see what happens. Let's get it going. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Okay, stop the music, and I see that am I having a little buffering problem here? Or is it working? It's kind of working. Huh. Wow, that is choppy as a professional chef. Okay. That means I got to change a couple elements. So let's do this real quick. Hang on. Let me see if I can get I'm going to fix this. Sorry, guys. Well, you try to test things and it doesn't always work. So let's do this. I'm going to take one element out of here. Let's take the beautiful background out that I had here. Hang on. We'll see if this helps. We'll subtract that. And we'll turn it off down here. Oh, this is not helping either, is it? Okay. Let me ask you this, chat. Can you hear me talking, or is my voice choppy also? I guess that's the question of the day. I may just have to restart this as a hangout and make some other changes. Who knows? We tested this last night, but it didn't necessarily... we'll see what happens. Oh, okay. I see what I did there. Let's try that. Here, let me... Hang on. I'm just for 1 second. Okay, voice is smooth. Just the video is bad, right? Well, it may have to just go that way today. Oh, okay. I see what I did there. Let's try that. Okay, so that, yeah, obviously my voice is fine. My issue is I'm using a different computer, and I tried to reproduce what I had done with my laptop, which my laptop was basically built for doing this stuff. I mean, it had plenty of RAM, plenty of memory, had high speed, had a great graphics card, and I could run some things through that, and some things and other parts. But as you know, if you've been around with me for a while, that laptop's no longer with me. And buffering when your video smoothed out. Well, I took out an element out of this. I'm going to have to... this computer that my son built that I'm using temporarily, and I probably have to add some more RAM to it or something, or maybe I might have to add a graphics card to it. That might help too. But excuse me, looks like things are going smoother now. Is that true? Is it a little more smooth right now? I sure hope so. Anyway, I got my cup of reparations coffee. We're gonna get it going today either way. So, wanted to start out. Seems like what the hell's going on there? Okay, So the big news today, obviously, is the Women's World Cup, and the United States finally won. Well, not finally. They won the Women's World Cup again in soccer, and unfortunately, it seems like people are talking about your mouth and your words match now. Okay, that's good. Oh, by the way, for those of you who are here, Let's see. Oh, Max got here first. Good morning, Max Del Rio. Good morning, Nick Rousseau Collins. Good morning, Maddie. Good morning, Duck Dog. And the one or two lurkers that are out there somewhere hiding in the shadows. I understand you may not be here legally, but that's okay. You can still watch my show. Just don't get caught. ICE is everywhere. All right, so the big news of the day is the Women's World Cup, and it should be, if normally when you have a U.S. national team win something as huge as a World Cup, normally that would be cause for nothing but celebration, right? But it's weird because this year the Women's World Cup has been overshadowed by things that have nothing to do with soccer. And it's been kind of frustrating to watch. And part of it is because one of our stars, Megan Rapinoe, came out in some interview a while back and said something about, I'm not going to that fucking White House. And, a lot of the things have it's funny. Right now, in our day and age, we can't seem to get through anything in the United States without it being about Donald Trump somehow. And Donald Trump didn't insert himself into this at all. In fact, he hadn't said anything about it until Megan Rapinoe did that interview. And then there's a big news that, we're not going to that effing White House. And then so Donald Trump said simply, you know what? We're not going to, he tweeted back something about, we're not going to worry about what she said. Win the World Cup first. Concentrate on that. Focus on that. Don't worry about me. And then Sue Bird, Megan Rapinoe's girlfriend or significant other or whatever their relationship is, pens an article about, why the president hates my girlfriend. I don't think the president gives two beans about Megan Rapinoe other than, hey, she's a soccer star playing in the World Cup, I don't think he even he even thought about her. And so it's fascinating that now, so here we're gonna let's check out. Let's go look at the article though, real quick, because this is. I pulled up the NBC one. Oh, and then also the big thing about the equal pay, and they've been talking about that for the last couple days. But let's get into this real quick. U.S. women's national soccer team proved their dominance at the 2019 Women's World Cup, defeating the Netherlands 2-0 on Sunday in the championship match. The victory in Lyon, France captured the world's attention, capping an unrivaled run by the soccer powerhouse. Marks both the fourth world title and back-to-back wins for the U.S. women after taking home the trophy in 1991, 1999, and 2015. The first half of the game was scoreless, with co-captain Megan Rapinoe earning the first goal of the game with a penalty kick at the 61-minute mark. Just before the 69-minute mark, midfielder Rose Lavelle, 24, scored the second goal. It's surreal, Rapinoe, 34, said after the win. I don't know how to feel right now. It's ridiculous. At the close of the game, some members of the crowd began chanting equal pay as a show of support for the U.S. women's national team, which is in a legal fight for their pay to match that of their male counterparts. Now, we'll get into that in a second. Following the win against the Netherlands, Rapinoe was awarded the Golden Boot for the most goals scored in the shortest amount of time. Rapinoe and teammate Alex Morgan both scored 6 goals and had 3 assists, but Rapinoe's goals were scored in 394 minutes compared to Morgan's 445 minutes, the BBC reported. After Sunday's win, the internet exploded with praise for the Americans. And now it's interesting because the first person they mention in this article is a celebrity who doesn't hold an office right now. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton congratulated them with a tweet, as well as First Lady Melania Trump. And tennis star Billie Jean King, who added a call for the women to receive equal pay to their male peers. It is long past time to pay them what they rightly deserve, King wrote. Now that's interesting. What they deserve. That's a fascinating question. What exactly do they deserve? Yes, they won the Women's World Cup. But again, we're going to get into that in a minute. Oh shoot! I'm sorry, guys. I don't even have my chat popped out, so I can't even tell what the hell y'all are talking about. Give me 1 second here. Let me fix this egregious error on my part. Going all boomer on you. Good. By the way, some other people came in. Good morning. Good morning, Richo. How you doing? Nice to see you. Male soccers don't get paid if they don't play. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're gonna get the whole story on that thing there. All right. Melania Trump, congratulations to the 2019 Women's World Cup champions. Billie Jean King, just what she said. Hillary Clinton, world champs again. The amazing women of the U.S. women's national team. Thank you for playing like girls. Barack Obama, yes, 4th star, back to back. Congrats to the record breakers of the U.S. women's national team. An incredible team that's always pushing themselves and the rest of us to be better. Mia Hamm, we will be watching Go USA. That was from Ellen DeGeneres. The U.S. women's soccer team are the world champions. I'm so happy. These women are the best of what our country represents. You're welcome on my show anytime. My World Cup runneth over. Ellen DeGeneres, I do like her. She's funny. She's not super political, even though she is political, but she's, you know what? She knows how to build an audience. I do like her. And then Gritty from the NHL. Yes, Queens. One nation, one team. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio tweeted that a parade would be held on Wednesday for the women's team, which is happening in a couple days. And President Trump offered his congratulations to the women's team on Sunday, despite sparring with some of its members over whether or not they would accept a presidential invitation to the White House. Congratulations to the U.S. women's soccer team on winning the World Cup. Great and exciting play. America is proud of you all. Now, it's funny because I'll go to that tweet later. In fact, let me right click that and just have that on the side here. Then, while speaking to reporters in New Jersey on Sunday afternoon, Trump said he'd like to see the female athletes paid as much as male athletes, but added he hadn't looked at the numbers of what each team member was making. When asked if he would invite the U.S. women's national team to the White House, he said, "We haven't really thought about it. We will look at that." The U.S. women's team rode onto the field. Okay, so this just tells more about the goals. Rapinoe was awarded the player of the tournament, basically, for the most goals. Anyway, yeah, Gritty's a terrible mascot. But anyway, but in June, now this shouldn't even be in the article. This is the part that I'm talking. I don't think this has any place in this article. It doesn't matter. First of all, let's celebrate the win and not make this about the politics of the event. In June, Rapinoe said in a recorded interview that she would decline to visit the White House if invited by Trump. In a video clip shared on social media, Rapinoe told a reporter, "I'm not going to the fucking White House." Okay, good for her. Whatever. She added that Trump doesn't invite teams he knows will decline, or like he did when the Warriors turned him down, he'll claim they hadn't been invited in the first place. Trump later responded in a serious tweet saying he would invite the women's team win or lose, but adding a rebuke for Rapinoe. "I'm a big fan of the American team and women's soccer, but Megan should win first before she talks. Finish the job." Okay, so great. That's it. Like he said, don't worry about me, finish the job. Rapinoe later accepted a Twitter invitation from Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to visit the U.S. House of Representatives. It may not be the White House, but we'd be happy to welcome her and the entire U.S. team No, they kind of messed that up. For a tour of the House of Representatives anytime they like. 2 hours later, Rapido replied with a tweet accepting the invitation. The U.S. women's team not only stirred up drama off the field, but also on it. The high-scoring game against Thailand led some to criticize how they ran up the score and appeared to be arrogant by celebrating too much. Yeah, after by the time you're up maybe 8 or 9 to nothing, it might be time to just show some class. But then again, here's the thing on that. One, we Americans are notoriously, let's just say, what's the word? What's the word for this? Verbose in our ability. Let's see, what's that verbose? I don't know. We like to celebrate shit. And you know what? Some of these players, if they scored their first goal, maybe in the entire tournament, I could see them celebrating. It got over the top a little bit. If you're up 13-0 and you're jumping around like you never scored before, who knows? Anyway, now here's the other part they had to put in this article. Although they've won on the soccer field, the U.S. women's national team are still fighting for a victory over their payback home. Prior to the World Cup, the U.S. women's team filed a federal lawsuit accusing the U.S. Soccer Federation of engaging in institutionalized gender discrimination reflected in differences in pay, medical care, travel arrangements, and overall workload for the men's and women's teams. Now, the overall workload, I'll tell you how that overall workload is. The women's fight for equal pay has also been backed by the Democratic Women's Caucus, which penned an open letter to U.S. Soccer Federation President Carlos Cordeiro. The Federation has declined to comment on pending litigation, but said that any pay disparity is based on differences in the aggregate revenue generated by the different teams and or any other factor other than sex. Now, let's talk a little bit about the pay structure. Crass. Thank you, Max Del Rio. That's a good one. Yeah, we're crass. We're verbose. We're crass. We're verbose. We're showy. That's just kind of an American thing, and I didn't care. Now that's one case where maybe, just maybe. No, I'm not even gonna say. I was gonna say. Well, here I'll say what I kept getting the idea of the thought. I think maybe that it's possible. Now, not necessarily in the United States, because the United States are used to like if you watch a WNBA game or women's sports here, Americans in general celebrate their accomplishments very publicly, and perhaps in other parts of the world where women are not allowed to, or not, it's kind of a cultural thing where women are not as showy, so to speak. Maybe that's why they were criticized more, because we are Americans. We do that kind of shit. Good morning, Maniac Man. Good morning, MC Hammer. Time. So that could be a cultural thing where American women are free to be just as showy and celebratory as the men. So America, F yeah, right? Am I right? All right, so let's talk about the pay thing, because that's something that, let me fix this. Okay, that's something that we've been hearing a lot about, and so on Twitter, let's go U.S. women's national team or soccer. Here we go. Now, it's not even trending right now anymore, but it was trending last night. And the first, I'll just put this up here, Katie Hopkins, why would the women's national team deserve equal pay with men when they can be beaten by a under 15 boys team? Pay on ability, reward on performance, promote on merit. 15-year-old boys are more able than this team. Facts don't care about your feelings. Ooh, she's not going to be very happy Well, here's the thing. Also, if you look at this celebration, now I'm looking at these stands, and I'm kind of noticing something strange. Now, the seats in this stadium are red, and if you look at them other upper decks, or is it just me? Or does it look like there's a whole lot of fans dressed up as empty seats up there? Now, here's the thing about the pay, okay? The women's national team, or they are paid a higher percentage of the revenue that the federation brings in for their events. The women are also guaranteed their pay, whether they play or not, unlike the men who don't get paid if they don't play. Let's see, I'm just looking at the top Twitter ones because there's a couple graphics that pop up when I scroll through this. Also, the other thing too is now it's funny, they get mad. They're mad. The men they make about 13% of the total revenue, whereas the men make about 9% of the total revenue. But the men's total revenue dwarfs the women. Now, in the last 18 years, since the Women's World Cup has been going on, the U.S. men's team has generated more revenue all but 1 year. Okay. Now it's funny because there was an article in the Wall Street Journal. Was it Wall Street Journal? One of the things talking about how the women now generate more revenue than the men. And here's what they said: over the last 3 years, the women generated more revenue than the U.S. men's team. Now, however, here's what they did. They took the women's 1 year that they won the World Cup, when they did actually generate more revenue, quite a bit more revenue, because it was a World Cup year and they won the World Cup and they brought in a bunch of money for that, the bonuses and all that year. And the men didn't make the World Cup the next cycle for the men. So that 2016, they made more revenue, quite a bit. In 2017, the women made slightly less revenue than the men's team, still coming off the World Cup and getting, that included, jersey sales and things like that. And then 2018, they made quite a bit less than the men's World Cup. But when you add up all 3 years together, 2016, they made enough so that they could still say over that 3-year period, the women made more, even though the next 2 years they made less than the men, because they had that one spike during the World Cup year. Every year, the prior 15 years before that, the men's team generated more revenue. And here's the reason why. We're going to go into a Forbes article right here. So here it is. Revenue disparity explains pay disparity between soccer World Cups, men and women. News today that France. Let's see. This is okay. Hang on a second. Oh, okay. So France won the men's World Cup, and this is here we go. News today that France earned $38 million from FIFA for winning soccer's World Cup in Russia, while the women's champion in France this summer will earn just $4 million, has prompted outrage. Okay, so the country that wins the men's gets $38 million. The country that wins women earns just $4 million. The total prize money for the Women's World Cup in France this July will be $30 million, compared to the total prize money of $440 million for the men's teams at the 2020 World Cup in Qatar. The difference between the men and women's prizes The difference, quote, the difference between the men's and women's prize money is ridiculous. Tatiana Hani, who oversaw women's soccer for FIFA before stepping down in 2017, said, according to the Associated Press. It's really disappointing the gap between men's and women's World Cup got bigger. It sends the wrong message. Now, that is, as the article here says, nonsense. When viewed appropriately based on how much money they generate, women actually make more than the men. As Dwight James pointed out, let's see, what's this? Is this just another article? Yeah, it's another article. As Dwight James points out, 4 years ago, the U.S. women beat Japan to capture the World Cup in Vancouver. There is a big difference in the revenue available to pay the teams. The Women's World Cup brought in almost $73 million, of which the players got 13%. Now, the other thing is, that's for the entire World Cup 4-year cycle, which is funny. The 2010 Men's World Cup in South Africa made almost $4 billion, of which 9% went to the players. The men still pulled the World Cup money wagon. The Men's World Cup in Russia generated over $6 billion in revenue, with the participating teams sharing $400 million, less than 7% of the revenue. Meanwhile, the Women's World Cup is expected to earn $131 million for the full 4-year cycle, 2019 to 2022, and dole out yet $30 million to the participating teams. The pay disparity is justified. Again, remember, sports is not a 9-to-5 job where the company makes money off you doing the same job. It's not. It's straight up not. The men, okay, again, look at this. So the men will be running over just the World Cup, okay? Just the World Cup alone, not even the playoffs up to it. The men generate about $6 billion in revenue. The women generate $131 million for the entire 4-year cycle. Okay, so that it's a spectator sport. The money comes from butts in seats and eyes on TV. You know, so you're paid based on the entertainment value that you generate. And that's just how it is. It's just like me saying, well, you know what? Because I am on YouTube every day doing stuff like this, I'm doing the same thing as PewDiePie, right? So why aren't PewDiePie and already paid the same thing? Because PewDiePie has almost 100 million followers, you know, and his shit's monetized. Mine's not. You know, it's why doesn't, you know, I was, who said it this morning? Which show was it? I listened to shows while I'm at work. Why do the players on the Los Angeles Dodgers, is that the Dodgers still in Los Angeles? The Los Angeles Dodgers make more than the AAA club that they're playing for, because the AAA club doesn't put as many butts in seats. They don't generate as much revenue. So it's not, you know, and I want to find, there was a really good graphic on this. If things were equal, either the men would make a hell of a lot more money, or the women would make a hell of a lot less. I wish I could find that graphic. Here it is right here. So here's a good graphic. Here's the pay gap. Exhibition games per year, 20. Player pay per... Oh, this is... No, what's this? Oh, this is stupid. Actually, this is not the one I was looking for. And actually, here's the other part too. To qualify for the Women's World Cup, the women play in one 5-game tournament. Because the other thing is, there's not as many teams, there's not as many countries that participate. The men have to go through a 16-game series where they travel all over the world, where the U.S. women play in one tournament to qualify. So this is a poorly thought out graphic because again, so Exhibition 2020 payer play for game win, player pay for game loss. Again, it's based on butts and seats and who's watching and revenue generated. Team pay for World Cup performance. That's for the whole team. 9 million to 2 million. Pretty okay, off the charts. Remember, I hate to break it to you, and it's a sad fact. Yes, they're playing the highest level of women's soccer. But more people watch the men's soccer. And for example, there were more people. I think there's many people in Soldier Field for a regional championship, Mexico versus the U.S. yesterday, than there were at the Women's World Cup. And it's not even the championship of the World Cup. I'm seeing a lot of this on Twitter. They don't realize this is a lie. They're more popular than you. That's tough to say. They don't put as many butts in seats. They generate more revenue than you. No, they don't. Not even close. They're better than you. Really? Let's put them on the same field. All right, let's put them on the same field if they're better than you. They should make more than you. They do make a higher percentage of the money revenue generated. So, hate to break it to you, they do make more as a percentage basis, but this, unfortunately, the women's game does not generate anywhere near the money the men's game generate. And it's a sad fact. Hopefully, and again, the Women's World Cup is a relatively new thing, compared to the men's. I think it's been going on for 20 years. Maybe the game will pick up and become more popular and start generating that kind of revenue. But if you try to pay them, it's not, they're separate entities for the most part. U.S. soccer's not, but the Women's World Cup and the Men's World Cup are separate entities. So the Women's World Cup would go broke if they tried to pay everyone like they paid the men. They just would, because they don't generate that much revenue. Again, $73 million versus, $131 million versus $4 billion. Okay, that's the fact right there. And so that's the reason the World Cup, the qualifying and everything pays the men. FIFA can pay the men more, because that's why. So you get everyone's talking about equal pay. Everyone's talking about equal pay, blah, blah, blah. And also the fact that, during this coverage in France, everyone in the background yelling, "Fuck Trump." Okay. Does that accent your victory, or does that take away from your victory? They made it about Trump, and so everyone's got to talk about Trump during this. It's fascinating, and it's just too bad. It's the same thing in the WNBA. I know the WNBA players are starting to get mad about the pay they get for the WNBA, but you could probably take a 15U boys team in basketball too and beat any WNBA team. I can guarantee that some of the the boys who've reached puberty would probably blow away again, a 15U all-star basketball team could probably beat any team in the WNBA. Just the facts. That's just the facts. Sorry. So it's kind of, but it's sad. I think as the Women's World Cup will continue to get bigger, their pay will rise as they generate more revenue. But again, it's not, I don't think it's ever going to be at the level that people are talking about. That's not going to be, it's the way it is. Right now, here's a tweet. Right now, I'm embarrassed to be an American. The USA fan leading the "Fuck Trump" chants on Fox News says the U.S. women's national team is one of the few things about the country he can be proud of right now. You know,
It's kind of the last grasp for them.
I'm embarrassed that they made it about Trump instead of the women's soccer team.
Really represents what America's about. So we have diversity racially, we have an LGBTQ population represented, and that's what Americans get behind. So I think Trump is really the old guard. It's kind of the last.
But you are the ones who made it about Trump. How about celebrating a team that won instead of worrying about who you hate? Because right now, you people are just showing hate, and I don't care if you hate him. Why would you take away from the Americans' victory by worrying about politics?
Last grasp for them. They keep power, but power should be divided amongst everyone.
And why are you even thinking about that after this win? Why is that? Why are you even thinking about this?
Big fan of the team. We love the women. We love what they're doing for the sport. We love the way that they're playing for each other. And it's been really fun to watch these women and how far they've come. It's been awesome.
I think
real quick, just out of curiosity, in my chat. Now let's see how many people I got here. We only got 13 right now, but that's okay. Here, on that note, let me just check something real quick because, here, let me just pop over here. Is he still going right now? Yes, he is. Sinatra's on. I wonder if I should jump over and jump into their stream. Since he's stepping on my toe. Well, he was up late. He had a rough night yesterday, so I'm not going to complain about Ranty Monkey. Ranty Monkey's streaming right now, just FYI. And I was just seeing if he was still on, which he is. So a lot of people go back and forth from his channel to my channel. That's okay. It's so anyway, this whole women's soccer thing. I don't think they're going to win in court. That's just the thing. It's easy to show how the revenues work in the game. It'll also be easy to show that the women are already paid a higher percentage of the revenues than the men are. So that's all you can do about it. I mean, you can't do anything about it. They're going to lose in court. There's no reason they don't do and also here's the other thing. They're saying equal pay for equal work. They don't do the same thing. Okay. The women's national team does not do the same thing as the men's national team. Also, first of all, their pay is guaranteed, which is crazy. It's not crazy. It's they're guaranteed pay if they, whether they win or not. The men are not. The men are not guaranteed. Also, they don't do equal work, and here's why. The men play against the best teams in the world. The women, and this is mean, and I think somebody else said this today too. The women play against the best women's teams in the world. Anyone catch the distinction there? Anybody? Because again, the women's national teams regularly scrimmage against younger boys teams to get ready for the World Cup. The All-Star team from Dallas of 15-year-old boys beat the women's national team 5-1. Same thing happened in Australia. They played against a 14-year-old boys club team and lost like 7-2. Now that 15-year-old All-Star team from Dallas that the American women lost to probably wouldn't score a goal against any men's team in the World Cup. How many women's Max Del Rio is asking how many women's teams are there? I know it's not as many as men's teams. And here's the other thing too. For the American women to dominate, there's going to be a few countries that dominate in women's soccer. A lot of it is because there's a few countries that developed women's sports early on or earlier than others. And the United States is one of them. Title IX really caused a surge in women's sports in the United States, and that's a great, that's a good thing. That's a great thing. I coach girls basketball in the summer, and so the development of sports for women here is far greater than any other country. Plus the fact that we have our population. I think we're the third or fourth most populous country in the world. So we have a much more developed, sports programs for women. So of course we're going to dominate in a lot of sports for women and for men, for that matter. Sports is a huge part of American life, and so the bigger the pool, and the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. And so we tend to be very good in a lot of sports in the United States. Compared to other parts of the world, but especially in the Women's Cup. 24 women's team World Cup teams, 32 men. Is that just that's just the pools though? That's just pool play. When you count all the qualifiers, and again, that's just for the World Cup. But then you think of all the qualifying tournaments around the world. I'm pretty sure there's far more men's national teams, and the other, even, you look at the women's victory over Thailand, that was 13-0. There's a big disparity between the teams. Yeah, just for the World Cup. Okay. All right. Let's get off this subject because I think I've had enough of this one. Here, let's pop this out. And again, I'm going to try to, I got to make some adjustments to this computer. I'll probably buy some more things to throw in that box down there to make everything smoother, and so I can run things a little faster. It is, it's 49 after the hour. I got a couple notifications. I'd like to check these. Oh, thank you so much, Necrosol and Maddie, for retweeting the tweet from this morning. By the way, as you know, the Morning Night Live is sponsored by you. Excuse me, I'm looking over there instead of my camera. The Morning Night Live is sponsored by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please remember, if you haven't done so already, right down here, there is that little arrow that says share. Sharing is caring right now because YouTube's not sharing my videos. So if you retweet or whatever you do to let people know that we're out here. And then also, if you haven't done so already and you like what we're doing, hit that like button. Or if you don't like what we're doing, hit the dislike. Just engagement is king. And also, we do super chats, but not through YouTube because I don't have enough people to be monetized. So, down in the description down below, there is a link to my Streamlabs account where you can do super chats and donations to the channel. Those are great incentive for me to keep going, but I love doing it anyway, so I will keep going. But it's greatly appreciated, especially as I try to replace some of my equipment that was lost on my lovely trip to San Francisco. I'm going to do a video about that, and I keep saying I'm going to do videos, but I really, really am. Now that at least I can use my son's computer to put some videos together, I am going to get back into that. So, all right, let's get into some stuff on Twitter. I'm sure there's something about. I remember there was already something about. There was something about the soccer team on there, but I think it's gone now. It's no longer trending. Yeah, that's gone. But anyway, let's go into the Twitter trends because that's what we do here. We want to figure out what people are going to be talking about for the rest of the day. So first on Twitter trends today, we have some motivation. Monday motivation. Hello, Johnny Hellcat. Hello, Marsupial Gamer. A couple other people. Seamus Derby, how you doing? And I think I got everybody so far. There we go. Trending number 1 on Twitter today is Monday motivation. Of course, the Monday thing, especially on Mondays. Okay, here we go. Someone named Vex King. Make it happen. Eliminate any doubts. Create a clear vision. Set some big goals. Have a rough plan. work your ass off, keep on learning, always believe, improve daily, and keep going. Just keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. All right. Oh, does Check Your Logic here too? I don't see Check Your Logic here. Did you sneak in here? So under the radar, Check Your Logic? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Maybe you changed your avatar. Oh, there you are. Hey, what's happening? All right. That was a pretty good Monday motivation, actually. I may just should I leave it at that? Man. Anyway, I gotta do something. I gotta do something viral. One of these days, I'm gonna have one of those tweets that's gonna go viral. I've had a couple, 200-300 400 likes and shares and stuff, but I want to hit one of those just giant viral ones, one of these, like 30,000 retweets or something. I got to figure out how to do that, and it's not going to be. I gotta find. I want to do it without doing something political. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm going to figure it out one of these days. Anyway, so I'm not going to do any more Monday motivation. That's it for Monday motivation. Number 2 is National Video Game Day. Is there really such a thing? Why? It's National Video Game. Happy National Video Game Day. Retweet for your chance to get a free Super Mario Maker 2 code. Okay, that's just, is that a promoted one? That's not even a promoted one. I don't even know who did that. Happy National Video Game Day, as if we needed a reason to play video games. That's true. Retweet if you agree. National Video Day Game. Free video games for every American. Yeah, I'm surprised that none of the Democratic candidates for president have suggested that yet. Free college, free video games, free healthcare. Just can we have everything for free? Oh, that's kind of cute. Anyway, so if you are into gaming, like I know many of you are, and I wish I had more time to do that. I enjoy gaming. I used to play a lot of Call of Duty, 2K, NBA 2K, whatever 2K iteration of 2K. I usually just played games that my son had. There was one of those motorcycle ones too, where you're trying to do climbs and climb hills and do all these stunts on motorcycles. I used to really get a kick out of that game. But I haven't played much lately. I think I'm going to get into more strategy games though, eventually. Although I do play my golf game on my phone, but it's gaming, but it's not, I can't remember what it's called. Golf Clash or something like that. I play that still, but that keeps me in touch with the gaming world. Anyway, so happy National Video Game Day for all of y'all. Free bacon for life. Yeah. Oh man, if they can make that happen, I would actually, my eyebrow would raise thinking about it. Free bacon for life. Oh man. All right. Hey, good morning, Chadwick Dupree. How you doing? All right. So National Video Game number 2. Number 3 trending is Monday morning. You know what? The only reason I'm going to click this is I see Joe Walsh and Andrew Malcolm are tweeting about this. If they're at the top, I'll read it. Let's see. Oh my God. John Fuselgang, supposedly a comedian and actor. I'm not so sure. Let's see. Read this Alexander Hamilton quote from 1792. You might want to sit down first. The truth, unquestionably, is that the only path to subversion of the Republican system of the country is by flattering the prejudice of the people and exciting their jealousies and apprehensions, to throw affairs into confusion and bring on civil commotion. When a man unprincipled in private life, desperate in his fortune, bold in his temper, possessed of considerable talents, despotic in his ordinary demeanor, known to have scoffed in my private at the principles of liberty, when such a man is seen to mount the hobby horse of popularity, to join in the cry of danger to liberty, to take every opportunity of embarrassing the general government and bring it under suspicion, to flatter and fail in with all the nonsense of the zealots of the day, it may justly be suspected that his object is to throw things into confusion, that he may ride the storm and direct the whirlwind. It's funny. You can apply that quote probably to every president over the last 100 years, and someone would take that as meaning that particular president. So everyone thinks that their favorite president is great, and the president they don't like is terrible. So I don't. Thanks, John. That's a great Monday morning thought, but I don't really care. Let's see. Putting the trek on to Friday in perspective, light travels at 186,000 miles per second. This is 5.8 million light years. You do the math. The biggest galaxy, over 30 times bigger than our own modest Milky Way. The IC 10101 is a supergiant elliptical galaxy, and it spans over 5.8 million light years with more than 100 trillion stars that call it home. Did not know that. That's interesting. All right, let's move on. Let's get out of the Mondays and see what's after this. There's let's see. Oh, this one, Alistair. Why is Alistair trending? I'm not sure. Oh, something having to do with games. It is National Game Day, so it feels like Gong's an idiot. Anyway, okay, so it's something to do with Pokemon, and then something there. So I don't care. All right, moving on. We're gonna skip Monday thoughts. How about no, this is interesting. I saw this one earlier today. Justice for Elijah. Apparently, now this is the root, so take it with a grain of salt. The police charged an Arizona man with first-degree murder after he allegedly killed a black teenager because the teen's music was a threat to his community and made him feel unsafe. Now, so they charged him with first-degree murder. Okay. He killed an innocent teen, but he's the victim because his mental health. This narrative is old and tired. Now, I'm not really sure what. Now, is there any place here? He was charged with first degree murder. Okay, let's see.
Identified him as 17. Well, friends have identified him as 17-year-old Elijah Alameen and say he did not deserve to die. According to police, the suspect brutally stabbed him to death just 48 hours after getting out of jail on another violent crime. The suspect's attorney says the mental health system is broken.
You're going to the store, then your son just doesn't come home.
Friends say 17-year-old Elijah Alameen had big plans to own his own business one day. But on 4th of July, police say Elijah was at the soda machine inside this Circle K when 27-year-old Michael Adams came up behind him and slit his throat. Ariana Ivory worked with Elijah at Taco Bell for a year and says they bonded over Elijah's passion.
He talked about rap music all the time.
So, I'm kind of curious because I need to find an article on this. I'm not sure why they keep talking about the mental health issue. Young Latinos to be murdered in the U.S. for wearing hoodies. No, they're not. Playing with toys. No, they're not. Listening to rap music. Yeah, this asshole did. This is a racial issue, not a mental health issue. These people are white supremacists and terrorists. Tired of this shit. Okay. They've come up. Okay, why?
Artist.
Ivory says Elijah would.
I'm trying to figure out. Okay, how do they know? We don't know anything about this guy other than so. So, where did the mental health part come in here? No one's even explained that to me. I'm trying to find it here. Who brought up mental health? That's what I don't get. Everyone else is in this thread is talking about mental health, but I don't know why. a criminal justice system kills mentally ill people when they're brown or black. But they said, oh God. No, I know a lot of black people have gotten off on mental illness too. So it's not, what, the police charged him with first-degree murder. Maybe there's an article that, now again, this is going to be the Root article, so it's going to have its slant. Okay, so Arizona law enforcement officials arrested a man who allegedly killed an innocent teenager in a brutal stabbing early Thursday morning. Although the teen didn't know the suspect or apparently do anything to his alleged killer, authorities say that the man committed the fatal act simply because he felt threatened by the music the teen was playing. Okay, let's remember, he's been charged with first-degree murder. Just let's get to that. On Thursday, police in Peoria, Arizona, charged 27-year-old Michael Paul Adams with first-degree murder, premeditated murder of 17-year-old Elijah Elamine. According to the Arizona Republic's review of court documents, Adams allegedly slit the boy's throat and stabbed him with a pocket knife at a Peoria Circle K gas station. Superior Court. So this guy should be charged. I'm not. What are we? Where's the? Okay, I'm just gonna keep reading. Superior Court records say that Adams told investigators that he felt threatened by the hip-hop music the teen was playing, not the teenager himself, explaining that people who play rap music are a threat to him and his community. Adams reportedly said he was being proactive, not reactive, because the musical genre makes him feel unsafe after rap music listeners attacked him in the past. Okay, so this guy's a jackass. He's an idiot. What the? Elamine had just finished working shift. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not seeing Adams, whose criminal history include theft, disorderly conduct, assault with a deadly weapon, and assault on a corrections officer, was released from prison on Tuesday. Well, why? Adams' attorney said he had no access to mental health services after he was released, although the statement from the Arizona Department of Corrections spokesman says Adams was not designated seriously mentally ill. So, okay. So, the mental ill, he's being charged with first-degree murder. So, yes, absolutely, let's get justice for Elijah. But I guess did I miss something? I don't know. Did I miss something here? I really don't know. Okay, is this still going? Okay, good. We're good. Okay, yeah. Charge the guy with first degree. I mean, so people are mad. I'm not sure what other than the fact that he got out of prison probably and hasn't. Maybe he wasn't getting his. Oh my God. Yeah, no, Neil Wilson was a completely different. Oh my God, people. How is he? Is this guy? This guy's a known white supremacist. I've never heard about this guy. I'm gonna wait till see if anything else comes out in this story. It's very strange. This guy's a bad guy, and of course, you know, obviously, this is one of those man bites dog things. There's, you know, if it's white on black, that automatically puts it in the news. But you know, there's a. And it's awful. I don't want to minimize this at all. It is awful. It just seems that just for Elijah, 47,000 tweets. So faint. It's not on my Twitter feed. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of dead bodies around this country. In I'll say our community, although I don't live in our community technically, but I'm saying that you never hear about on a daily basis, every weekend in every major city, But we're going to hear about justice for Elijah, this asshole who's being charged with first-degree murder and should be, and will probably go to prison for the rest of his life. There's no there's no mental health thing that's going to get him out of this. And it seems like maybe it's just me, because it seems like this guy should be in jail for the rest of his life. And everyone's bringing up the mental illness aspect of it. I don't know who's I haven't seen one. Maybe I'm just missing the mention on mental illness, other than he didn't get post-prison help. But this guy's going to go to jail. It's a first-degree murder. I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe I'm missing something. Let's see. What's the latest on this? I'm so sick of young black youths being killed. Do you know? Oh, yeah. I absolutely. The vast majority of them are killed by gunfire in proximity to most people around them. Okay. But again, this is that you only get this when someone white kills someone black, and I'm not saying that shouldn't be publicized, but it's funny how we don't get outraged every single day about every crime in every kid that's shot in our own neighborhoods by someone who looks like us. But man, we can raise the roof 47,000 tweets when some jackass like this kills somebody. Hey, lock him up, throw away the key. If Arizona has the death penalty, more power to them. Prosecute this guy to the fullest extent of the law. But you know what? To pretend that this is the only kind of murder we're seeing, when the number one killer of black American youth ages 17 to 24, the number one cause of death is murder. And it's not even in the top 10 for other people. Okay? And I'm telling you right now, it's not a bunch of these dudes killing our youth. That's not who's murdering our youth. So if you're gonna get outraged, let's get outraged. Oh man, let's get outraged everywhere else. Every other time it happens, this is rare. Okay, the Trayvon Martins of the world are rare, but you hear about them all the time because they're the only ones that get publicized. Yeah, Chicago's easy. Let's try Baltimore. Let's try Los Angeles. Let's try New York City. Let's try Gary, Indiana. Let's try North Omaha. Let's talk about St. Louis, East St. Louis. I guarantee you that on the same day that this young man was killed in Arizona, there's another young man in every single one of those cities that was murdered. This is just stoking. This is just this guy right here. Okay, so I'm looking at this. Look at this. Where is it? Right here. White supremacist how do you know he's a white supremacist? How do you know? How do you know he's just not an asshole? White supremacist slits at throat and killed a 17-year-old black kid for listening to rap music in Arizona. Slits his throat. Justice for Elijah. Black Lives Matter. Except when it's in your neighborhood. That's the only time it matters. The only time it matters. Only time you hear Black Lives. You don't hear Black Lives. Did you hear Black Lives Matter a couple weekends ago when 52 people were shot, 5 were killed? In that, it's easy to say Chicago just because it happens every day, every weekend in Chicago. But I didn't see any Black Lives Matters talking about that. Do those Black Lives Matter too? I think they do. Oh, but that's just us doing it to ourselves. So it's not as important as, every 9 months or every, couple times a year a white person kills a black person. What about all the other young black boys who are dead? How are we going to fix that? If Black Lives Matters, why weren't we ever talk about that? Why aren't we talking about that? Let me get off this one before I blow a gasket. Jerami Grant. Who is that? I don't even know. Thunder have traded Jerami Grant to the Nuggets for a first-round pick. There you go. Black Lives Matter. Congratulations, Jerami, for whatever you get out of that contract. Halep. Simona. I'm not sure. Does this have to do... Oh, I wonder if this has to do... Oh, no. Oh, Coco lost. So this is a Black Lives that matters. I'm excited for this young girl. She has a great future coming on. Just in, 15-year-old Corey Coco Gauff's incredible run at Wimbledon comes to an abrupt end at the hands of former number 1 Simona Halep. Gauff is the youngest player to have gone this far at Wimbledon since 15-year-old Jennifer Capriati in 1991. This girl has been incredible. She beat Venus. She got in. She had to do a qualifier to get into the tournament. She gets a first-round win over Venus Williams, former champion. Her sister Serena is probably the best women's player of all time. Coco Gauff's incredible run at Wimbledon came to an abrupt end at the hands of Simona Halep Tuesday. The 15-year-old has joined a scintillating breakthrough Grand Slam at the All England Tennis Club, but former world number 1 Halep proved too big an obstacle for the teenager. The Romanian used all her experience to win in straight sets 6-3, 6-3, and progressed to the quarterfinals. Gauff started her historic week by beating idol Venus Williams in the first round before defeating Magdalena Rykavagova. I don't think I pronounced that right, but in straight sets, and then emerging triumphant from a center court classic against Polona Hercog. Throughout her run, Gauff has amassed fans from across the world and established herself as arguably the most exciting prospect on the tour. The American is the youngest player to have gone this far at Wimbledon since 15-year-old Jennifer Capriati advanced into the last 4 in 1991 and was the youngest player in the Open era to advance through qualifying to reach Wimbledon's main draw. So this girl, I'm so looking forward to seeing this girl take the tennis world by storm. Good luck to this girl. I hope she does great. That's a great story. Black Lives Matter. Moving on. Now this is the one I don't get. Jar Jar Binks is trending. Jar Jar Binks. Are you kidding me? Why the hell is Jar Jar Binks trending? Wait a minute. What? I got a couple more notifications. Thank you, Glanders and Booper, for retweeting my retweet. You're awesome. Thank you so much. I'm not sure who Glanders and Booper is. I don't know. That's a funny name, though. All right. Where was I? Oh, what the hell did I do? Let's get back here. Oh, no. What happened? What happened? This should be... I was back on trends, and I messed up. Before I click it so you can see it, I got to fix it. Okay, Halep. Oh, Jar Jar Binks! Why the hell is Jar Jar Binks trending? Now, I think I know exactly why. Yes, Jar Jar, Lord of the Sith. I know why Jar Jar Binks is trending. Jar Jar Binks is trending because people are wondering, why the hell is Jar Jar Binks trending? That's the only Look at what's trending. The first thing that catches my eye is Jar Jar Binks. This is going to be a good day. Jar Jar Binks is trending because people are asking, why is Jar Jar Binks trending? Is the most Jar Jar Binks ever. Jar Jar Binks is trending, and I don't know why. All I know is he deserves it. Sources report the New York Knicks have signed free agent Jar Jar Binks. Okay, that's why he's trending. Oh, I didn't even push this over. I'm sorry. You should be seeing this while I'm doing this. This is funny as hell to me. Let's see. Jar Jar Binks is trending for some reason. I feel the need to repost this. I don't know why. Jar Jar Binks is trending solely fueled by people wondering why is Jar Jar Binks trending. I'm pretty sure that's it. There is no other reason. Oh, and this is a classic. Seeing Jar Jar Binks trending and seeing that he's okay. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, goodness me. All right, enough of Jar Jar Binks. So Jar Jar Binks, and no one knows why, but he is trending. Alchemy, I don't know what that is. Is that something to do with a... That has to be some. I knew it had to be some kind of anime or fairy tale. I'm not into it. Sorry, guys. Gigantamaxing, trending with Dynamax. That's got to be some other anime or Pokemon or something. Yep, just what I thought. Nope. We're not doing it. Oops, sorry. Mukoba, Yamper. These are all trending things. Elliot Brody. Who's Elliot Brody? Hey, why isn't? I'm kind of wondering why Jeffrey Epstein isn't trending. Cameron Boyce, I'll check your logic. No, Cameron Boyce is not trending, but we're going to check that after we check Elliot Brody here. Okay, Elliot Brody. Let's see. Remember, Brody paid hush money to a woman and shared the same NDA with 45. AP federal grand jury probing GOP fundraiser Elliot Brody. Okay, let's find out. Let's see. Let's hear the story. I got a feeling the people are still they're still actually trying to tie things to Trump. Like this Jeffrey Epstein, people are trying to tie him because Trump knew Epstein, and actually, I think Trump actually talked to authorities on Epstein one time when he found Epstein with a young girl. And he kicked Epstein out of his property and then talked to authorities about it. But people are trying to make it like, oh, Trump and Epstein were close. Here's your bigger problem. Jeffrey Epstein, if you're familiar with him, he's the guy who had the island, and he had a bunch of young girls there, prostitutes and things like that, and apparently many of them were underage. A frequent visitor and traveling companion of Jeffrey Epstein was none other than William Jefferson Clinton. But but it's funny. Apparently, one of the prosecutors on Epstein's case is none other than James Comey's daughter. At least that was the rumor this morning. Now I haven't confirmed that, but it's fascinating. Okay, what now? What's going on in here? Something. Do all matter? Asking for children in cages. Me. Do Black Lives Matter? Asking for black people gunned down by other black people, and the blacks killing whites. Do you remember the Muslim who threw a white child over the balcony of some mall? That wasn't a Muslim. That was just a black guy. And yeah. So the guy, this asshole in Arizona, slits the guy's throat. And some were talking about mental illness. You know what? When the guy at the Mall of America, a black guy, threw a young white kid off a third-story balcony at the Mall of America, you know what? One of the first things that came up, mental health issues. So that it's not uncommon for that mental health issue to come up. And I'm sorry, but the black and white and the white on black, all that is still unicorn kind of thing, it's man bites dog. I mean, most violent crimes happen among races, not across races. So But I tell you what, it's sure great newspaper fodder when it goes one way or the other, and especially one way. And we know what I'm talking about here. Anyway, we can just do around, but I would say now that I don't know, that I know it wasn't a racial thing, which is what people were harping about on Trayvon. Hello, Dumbbeard. I've never seen you in my chat. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. You are. Oh, okay. You're Glanderson Pooper. Hey, I love that handle. That one cracks me up. All right, let's get into this. Elliot Broidy, New York, a federal grand jury in New York is investigating top Republican fundraiser Elliot Broidy, examining whether he used his position as vice chair of President Trump's inaugural committee to drum up business deals with foreign leaders, according to documents obtained by the Associated Press and people familiar with the matter. A wide-ranging subpoena the U.S. Attorney's Office in Brooklyn recently sent to Trump's inaugural committee seeks records relating to 20 individuals and businesses. So this is, again, I'm going to take everything I read about this case with a grain of salt, just because they're okay. So this is the U.S. Attorney's Office in Brooklyn. Yeah, they're all just, they hate Trump so much that it's a fishing expedition. Now, he may have done something wrong. I'm not saying he didn't. But it's just funny how, Trump's inaugural committee seeks records related to 20 individuals and businesses, all of connections to Broidy, his investment and defense contracting firms, and foreign officials he pursued deals with, including the current president of Angola and 2 politicians in Romania. No Russians? What? Prosecutors appear to be investigating whether Broidy exploited his access to Trump for personal gain and violated the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, which makes it illegal for U.S. citizens to offer foreign officials anything of value to gain a business advantage. Things of value in this case could have been an invitation to the January 2017 inaugural event or access to Trump. A statement released to the AP by Broidy's attorney said that at no point did Broidy or his global security firm Circinus have contact or exchange money with any Romanian government agency, proxy, or agent. It also said that while Circinus did reach an agreement with Angola in 2016, there was no connection whatsoever to the inauguration or Broidy's role on the inaugural committee. Any implication to the contrary is completely false. The Brooklyn probe appears to be a stake from an inquiry by Manhattan federal prosecutors in the inaugural committee record $107 million fundraising and whether foreigners unlawfully contributed. So this probe is all about. It seems to be more about Trump than Broidy, although Broidy is the guy that they're going after. If he broke the law, throw the book at him. Fine. So that's another story today you'll be hearing about a bit. Now someone said Cameron Boyce. Let's look up. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll look it up. Let's see what's going on here. Let me get back into page 0. Here, let's just go to the home here. Let's open a new tab and we'll. I don't know. You know what? I don't know the name, but I'm gonna look it up. His name is what? Cameron Boyce. Okay, it's even pops up here. Oh wow. I did not know. Telegraph. Let's go to the Telegraph. Oh, this is sad. I mean, it's always sad. To me, it's always sad when someone young dies. It just is, by the way, FYI, I just got back from my mom, the woman who adopted, my parents who adopted me. I just got back from my mom's 90th birthday. She had her 90th birthday this weekend, had a birthday party. Boy, did we have fun. It's funny because my mom is doing really well. She still lives on her own in the house that my parents built just over 50 years ago. And, she has help. She has some people who come in a couple times a week. And my sister, who passed away a few years ago, her former, life partner, I'll say. He checks on her every day. My nephew lives in Omaha, checks on her every day. And it was fun because my mom's 90-year-old. She doesn't get around all that well, but she's completely there except for some short-term memory issues. But it was fun because her favorite artist when she was a kid was Sam Cooke. And so the whole party we were playing Sam Cooke music, and every once in a while my mom would like come back, or she'd come back with plate food, and then she would just stand there and dance for a little bit, just jamming to Sam Cooke. And it was just kind of fun to see her having so much fun. Man, it was a great party. I know I went on a side, but anyway, let's get back to Cameron Boyce. But yeah, it makes me sad when young people die. So this kid that was killed in Arizona, or this kid, Cameron Boyce, 20 years old. Here's the story. Disney star Cameron Boyce, the Disney star, known for his roles in films and television, including The Descendants and Jessie, has died. The cause of Boyce's death was announced as a seizure due to an ongoing medical condition. A spokesman for the Boyce family said on Saturday, It is with a profoundly heavy heart that we report that this morning we lost Cameron. He passed away in his sleep due to a seizure, which was a result of an ongoing medical condition for which he was being treated. The world is now undoubtedly without one of its brightest lights, but his spirit will live on through the kindness and compassion of all who knew and loved him. We are utterly heartbroken and ask for privacy during this immensely difficult time as we grieve for the loss of our precious son and brother. I'm not even familiar with the actor. Let's see. Boyce made his acting debut at age 9 when he was cast in a horror film Mirrors alongside Kiefer Sutherland. He was cast alongside Adam Sandler in the 2010 comedy film Grown Ups alongside Hayek. Writing a tribute post on Instagram, Sandler said, "Too young, too sweet, too funny, just the nicest, most talented, and most decent kid around. Loved that kid. Cared so much about his family. Cared so much about the world. Thank you, Cameron, for all you gave us. So much more was on the way. Our hearts are broken. Thinking of your amazing family and sending our deepest condolences." In March, Boyce was introduced former Vice President Joe Biden at the Biden Courage Awards. The actor was due to appear in the new HBO comedy series, Mrs. Fletcher. So, very sad. Man, I'm not happy when anyone dies, but this kid's 20 years old, 20-year-old actor, was starting to make a name for himself, getting some good gigs. I mean, if you're getting a gig with, you've played in a movie next to Kiefer Sutherland and Adam Sandler and Salma Hayek, you must be doing okay. So very sad for that kid. All right, so how do I want to finish today? Because I got I've got a couple more minutes here. First of all, thank you for being here. I know that it had some technical difficulties in the beginning. I think I'm going to have to keep it simple until I can upgrade this computer to fill the needs for the show. And also, there's got to be something on here. What did I miss here? Hang on a second here. I'm going to go to just home on Twitter, see what kind of the latest thing on here is. Let's see. I had to take care of my niece in the early 2010. One of the shows we watched was Jessie. Yeah, I heard that was a pretty good show. Oh, here's I talked about Epstein. Let's just, not that I want to, well, anyway, I'm not, let's see. Let's just do one on Epstein, and then we're going to get out of here, because this guy, oh my God, this guy, Christine Pelosi, who's Nancy Pelosi's daughter, quite likely that some of our faves involved in Epstein's sex trafficking case. Oh, this is, man. Democratic Party insider Christine Pelosi sounded the alarm bell Saturday over the arrest of financier Jeffrey Epstein on new sex trafficking charges. The Democratic National Committee member and daughter of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called the Epstein case horrific and predicted that some high-level names from both the Democratic and Republican parties could be implicated in the legal proceedings. I know everyone's hoping that Trump is one of them. I've been seeing it on Twitter already, but anyway. This Epstein case is horrific, and the young women deserve justice, Pelosi tweeted. It is quite likely that some of our faves, Bill Clinton, are implicated because we must follow the facts and let the chips fall where they may, whether Republicans or Democrats. She's hedging her bets here. I keep saying that. Apparently, Alan Dershowitz targeted by a lawsuit in the Epstein case. Anyway, police arrested Epstein Saturday on new sex trafficking charges that resulted from renewed interest in allegations that go back almost 2 decades. Epstein has been accused of hiring underage girls for massages and sex that allegedly occurred at his homes in Palm Beach and New York City. He also has a retreat in the Virgin Islands that is reportedly known as Orgy Island. Although Pelosi did not name names, Epstein has been associated with political celebrities like former President Bill Clinton, British Prince Andrew, and President Donald Trump. According to court documents obtained by Fox News in 2016, Clinton was a special guest on Epstein's plane, the Lolita Express, for trips to the Virgin Islands. Trump may have been a passenger on the plane on at least one occasion, and has been critical of Clinton's relationship with Epstein in the past, according to Fox. Trump suggested that Clinton could have a lot of problems as a result of that friendship in a conversation with Fox News host Sean Hannity. The picture they picked of Bill Clinton. Oh, is that just... Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Anyway, Trump alleged connection to the financier includes varying stories. While Trump's biographer, Tim O'Brien, quoted Trump as calling Epstein a terrific guy and had a lot of fun to be with, the president's legal advisors have refuted the accuracy of those words. Trump reportedly also declared his Mar-a-Lago retreat off limits to Epstein, according to Fox. Miami Herald investigative reporter Julie K. Brown is alleging that Trump and Epstein went to dinner parties at each other's houses. Trump was also on his plane. Probably not as much as a lot of other people because, Trump has his own plane. Epstein has been incarcerated at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan and is expected to make his first court appearance on the latest charges Monday in a Manhattan federal courthouse. Now, Trump has talked about Epstein in the past, and I know that he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago at one time, and at some point apparently spoke with authorities about some of Epstein's proclivities. I'm not completely familiar with that story, but not the plane. Okay, the plane. Okay, Max Del Rio saying that the plane Epstein was on flew from Florida to New York City. They caught a ride on his plane. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's something they want to do about Trump. Now, I had another article today that I'm not going to get to, referring to the Mueller report, which I'll read. I'll get that one tomorrow. Some interesting things that. And now I haven't read the complete Mueller report. I've read parts of it and seen a lot about it on the internet. I need to get through the whole thing. But there's some questionable things in that report and wording and the way they repeat some things. Great article in Real Clear Politics that we'll get to tomorrow. But we are at the end of my day on the show. So I'm just going to tell everyone who's here, thank you for being here. I appreciate you joining me again today on the Morning Night Live. I will be here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT, just like always. And again, before you go, if you haven't done so already, make sure you pop that like button. If you haven't done it, make sure that if you happen to have missed the beginning of the show and watch it later, hit the share button and make sure that we get that. Oh, I got 1 thumbs down. That means I'm doing something right. And again, just thank you so much. I appreciate you sticking with me even through the different technical difficulties over the last couple weeks and staying with me after my vacation. I hope you all have a great day. My name is Dawg Knight. Without my normal outro,